Hello Yugioh fans, Matt here, and welcome to a discussion video on Cyber Dragon Ability and PePe, or as it's now going to be called, Performapal Dracoslayer. After the adjusted list, the deck seemed quite dead, with Ptolemy's banned, the Performage engine now unusable, Performapal Monkey Board at 1, Luster Pendulum at 1, and Joker at 1. However, the deck is still very viable. It probably won't be the best deck of the format. It will probably top some regionals, and it will gain some of its stamina back, because its best explosive board probably would be Infinity, Raphelsia, Evil Swarm Nightmare, and a King with Feral Limbs with a complete scale in hand. That could be very dangerous, because that's more or less what the board you would get out of Performapals. So it can still have those explosive plays. And with this ban list, we haven't lost Cyber Dragon Infinity. We may have lost this best way to get into it through this deck, which is Ptolemy's. However, there are two other routes in which you can bring out Cyber Dragon Infinity in this deck. And this is what this video will be entailing. It will show you the two main routes that I found that work quite well to bring out Cyber Dragon Infinity. The first of these is the one I'm using pre-Wing Riders, and that is the Galaxy Soldier engine. Galaxy Soldier is a light machine type that can discard a light type monster and special summon it from your hand. When it is special summoned, it doesn't have to be special summoned through that effect. It can add a Galaxy monster from your deck to your hand. So what you would do is that you'd pendulum summon Galaxy Soldier, search out another Galaxy Soldier, and then discard a light type from your hand, special summon it again, and overlay for Nova Infinity. I would advise running 3 just because you want to have that option of opening up with it as soon as possible, since this is your main way of getting it out in the deck. But you're probably thinking, there's not many light types in Performapal Dracoslayer except from Luster, Master, and Eccentric Archfiend. There is an alternative way of getting a light type in this, and that is through Gentlemander and King of the Feral Imps. Because King of the Feral Imps can search out any reptile from your deck to your hand, the best one that would have synergy with this is Gentlemander, since it is a light level 4 monster, and if you discard it, you've still got Instant Fusion Fodder for plays later on. It also can special summon itself in the way that your Yugioh would summon itself, so it does have protection abilities there from OTKs. So Gentlemander does have synergy in this deck. So you would really want to do is pendulum summon Galaxy Soldier and 2 level 4s in the lowest case scenario. The best case scenario, have everything pendulum summoned there, do all your plays. But at the minimum, you would need Galaxy Soldier and 2 level 4s. You would use Galaxy Soldier's effect to search out another Galaxy Soldier. You would overlay to King of Feral Imps, add Gentlemander, discard Gentlemander, summon Galaxy Soldier, overlay for Infinity. And that is very good. There are other ways of discarding it, as you can discard Master and Luster, and they can be reborn through Dynasty Power. So this engine does technically have synergy. You would have to main deck 4 cards just for this Infinity, but it's not too much of a stretch. So yeah, there is an alternative engine, which Lithium 2300 was playing on his version of Performapal Dracoslayer, and that's the Thunder Dragon engine, which is technically a little bit more consistent in this, because you only have to draw 1, and then you can discard and draw 2, and then pendulum summon them out and bring out Pallades. However, this doesn't give you an Infinity. You may be having more cards in your deck than to run the Infinity, but Infinity is a lot better than Pallades technically, just because it can negate anything. Well, except from Kaiju. And the alternative engine, and this is the one I will probably be testing out post Wing Riders, and that is the Raid Raptor engine through Force Strix and Soul Shave Force. What you would do is you overlay for Force Strix, detach a material to search out Zephyr's Elite, because you need 1 target in order to use this effect, and you might as well have something to use. And Zephyr's Elite has some synergy in the deck, which I'll go into in a minute. But then you would destroy it, or it'll be destroyed, and then you would use Rank Up Magic Soul Shave Force, pay half your life points, resurrect it, and then overlay for Infinity, which is very, very good, but it is a costly price. But if we had Soul Judgment back, we would all be running it in the main deck anyway. So this is technically like our Solemn Judgment. Cyber Dragon Infinity is technically our Solemn Judgment on legs, I should say. Where it has synergy in the deck is that you have Zephyr's Elite. Zephyr's Elite can add back your monkey board by special summoning itself to the field. So you can have 2 monkey boards, you can have 2 jokers. You can set up with Turtle. Say you've got your scales already complete, but you can't get rid of them. without like a Pendulum Sorcerer. You can bounce back one of them, put it back in the scale to trigger Yugioh's effect and draw one card. So that is still a very good play to do. Zephyr Sealy is level 4, so it can have a lot of synergy as well. Soul Shape Force, I would say 2 to 3. 2 would be best because you don't want to clog with it, but 3 if you want to maximize the Infinity plays first turn. There is also further plays with Performapal Pendulum Sorcerer. Pendulum Sorcerer, if you've done Force Tricks before your Pendulum Summon, which you'd most likely do with Joker and Joker or a second donkey, and most likely Draco Face-Off to summon out your Master Pendulum or Vector Pendulum and overlay Force Tricks. You can then Pendulum summon out Pendulum Sorcerer, destroy Force Tricks, add your Performapals, then Soul Shape Force, summon out Infinity, which is brilliant because you get that first turn, and that's always something you would like. However, it is not as consistent to have that first turn, but you would probably have it turn 2 or turn 3 or 4 into the game. You'd probably have your Infinity there. The engine itself would require 4 to 5 cards. Technically, Pendulum Sorcerer is already in there, so we don't really need to cast him. So 3 to 4 cards, depending on how big you want to use your Soul Shaves. And in your extra deck, you'd only need 3 cards. There is a 4th, which I'll go into in a minute. But technically, you only need 1 Force Tricks, since the main way your opponent would get rid of Force Tricks would be through either Destruction or bounce it back to your extra deck. If it bounces back to your extra deck, you can still bring it out again, so there's nothing stopping that, and then you hopefully will be able to go off with that. So there is ways. The other way is obviously banishment, but the only deck that would really banish Force Tricks very effectively would be either Infernoid or Cosmo in the form with Cosmojo. But any other form would probably destroy Raid Raptor Force Tricks and then let you use your Soul Save Force. You only need 1 because you only need 1 in the graveyard. You don't need to go into a second one and put that into the graveyard. You will most likely have Force Tricks in the graveyard afterwards anyway. So then you can technically run 2 Cyber Dragon Infinity because you have 1 target which you reuse several times. So very good in that sense. And the final card to talk about is Diamond Direwolf. This also gives synergy, especially for turn 2, as you can exceed Force Tricks, exceed Diamond Dire. Diamond Dire destroys Force Tricks and a card on their field. Soul Shape Force bring Infinity, so you've got end your turn with Infinity and Diamond Dire, which would be brilliant. Even better if you have Instant Fusion, because then you could have Raphelsia with that as well. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this discussion video. Please tell me your thoughts below. If you think Cyber Dragon Infinity will be very viable in the new PePe, or if you think PePe is really dead, just tell me why. Because I don't see it as dead. I think it's got a lot of potential. It can still do explosive things and can still at least dominate in a regional sense. Probably won't be the best deck, but then again, the only problem would be Cosmo and Mermail. Mermail being very bad in either case anyway. But the deck can still bring out Cyber Dragon Infinity, Raphelsia, Infoswarm Nightmare, and something else turn 1. So it has a lot of good things. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. Please leave your comments below if you have suggestions for my decks or suggestions for my channel in general. And thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed this and want to see further content. Matt Durant, signing out.